Hello everybody. Today I want to share with you a group of vintage Star Wars action figures and vehicles that my buddy Justin gave me as a gift. And I met Justin and his dad about 4 years ago at a card show in Frisco, Texas, which actually ended up turning into the Dallas card show, and we all know how massive that thing is now. So we would go and buy some cards, trade some cards, sell some cards at this small show. It was probably maybe 40 tables, something like that. And I met Justin and his dad, and they were just really great, cool, kind, nice, knowledgeable, laid back, and they were just a joy to be around. And we became friends. And I sold them some stuff that I came into, like trading card wise, like some vintage baseball cards from a big collection that I had acquired from a teacher, a professor at my college. And we had just kept in touch loosely over the years, and eventually he ended up wanting to get rid of the collection and remembered me and reached out, and we worked a deal, and I ended up passing them right along to Justin and his dad. About 99% of what I acquired from him ended up going over to Justin and Dave. And it was always fun going to the shows, seeing them, talking to them, and it was a small show, so it was pretty quick to get around to the tables, and that was a great reintroduction to my world of collecting and trading cards and collectibles and toys that I'm into now. And it's unfortunate to say that Justin's dad, Dave, ended up passing away about 2 years ago now, and that's still difficult to think about and to consider, and I haven't really totally accepted that yet. And it's been difficult going to the shows and not seeing them there, and sometimes I'll skip the Dallas card show for just that reason. If I'm not going there, I don't have a purpose to be there. I would go to the card shows just to hang out with them, and it's just hard. And that's how these things are. And and what we're looking at today is one of the really positive parts of collecting and friendship, and that Justin thought about me when a family friend of his, I believe, ended up passing this collection on to him, saying that maybe he could do something with it or find it a good home. And then he said the same thing to me. It's like, maybe you can do something with these, or maybe you're interested in these, and he gifted them to me. And while I don't have a Star Wars collection, this is my first collection of Star Wars action figures and vehicles, I'm incredibly grateful for them. I don't honor them the way that a avid Star Wars fan would. As a toy collector, I keep them in bags inside of a Tupperware bin, which may be doing them a disservice, and I'm just trying to cherish them and honor them the best way I know how. So until I can possibly display them, I just wanted to show off this collection and make a record of it, because there's some pretty awesome stuff. And we'll start out with the biggest one, which is the Imperial troop transporter, which, from what I remember learning about these toys even before I got this, is that this was not in any of the movies from the 70s or the 80s. This was actually a off-camera vehicle that was created just to be a toy, and just to transport some of the prisoners and troops and things like that in here. So pretty neat. And then when the Mandalorian came out, they actually had this troop carrier in the show, so it became part of the actual show and not just a toy. It actually is on the screen and is now what they consider to be canon. So this is really cool. You got the little wheels on the bottom. It's missing some things from another collector friend of mine told me that there was another version, one that took batteries, one that didn't. And from what I've researched, there's the ones with the batteries made sound, and this one doesn't. So pretty cool. I think that's really neat. It's got the two guns on the top here, and it's got the little gunner's seat, and it looks like it works in conjunction with the guns. And I'm very delicate with this. I don't really know 100% how structurally sound everything is just based on the age of everything, so I try not to fiddle with them too much. And then we have a couple little guys, which are both called mini rigs, and this one here is called the Mini Rig PDT-8. And not 100% sure if it's complete. It seems like there might be something that might go over here, maybe not. Maybe not. And it's still a pretty cool little vessel, little vehicle, little mini rig. 1981. It's got the little either blasters or engines on the side. And if I'm, misquoting some of these things, some of the functions and some of the names, please let me know in the comments. Like I mentioned, I'm still learning, and hopefully I won't be raked over the coals for just saying a name wrong or misunderstanding something. And hopefully you guys can help me out, because this video is going to live as a record on YouTube, and hopefully it'll serve as an educational video as much as it is just an enthusiast video, so people can come here to get information about these items that they see in the thumbnail. And this is called the Mini Rig MLC-3 vehicle, and it's missing a little bubble that goes over here, a little plastic bubble, and you put your figure in there. Oh, this little control panel, instrument panel. It's pretty cool. It's got little wheels. Nice little vehicle, 1981 too, or as 1981 as well. There we go. And then we have a special little guy, a little Tauntaun. It's like the one that Luke was in, where he sliced his belly open and he used him as a sleeping bag. So it's pretty cool. It's a face only a mother could love. His little hands move. He's got his little saddle up here, and it's interesting. It's pretty clever how they did this, because with the saddle on, it just looks like a solid piece of plastic up there. What actually, when you take the rebel soldier, there's a little door, so he can ride. He can ride the guy there. There it is. So anyway, it's just like a little trap door. You can see the little cutout there. So that's pretty cool. Little Tauntaun. So I have the rebel soldier in my hand right now, but we're gonna go in order from left to right. So we'll get to him in just a second. We have Yoda, which is really cool. This is from The Empire Strikes Back. He has a little snake around his neck, his little staff. He even has his little belt, which is really cool. From what I understand, the accessories on these are what really makes them special, because there's plenty of these figures made back in the 70s and the 80s, and the little accessories and the weapons are what really makes them the most desirable. So it's cool. It's a little cloth cloak that he has. Pretty cool little Yoda. You can see he's much smaller than the rest of the guys, so they got the scale. It's cool that they got the scale how they got it. And then we'll just move right into Chewy. Little Chewbacca. And these are, for the most part, the limbs are pretty tight. You can even hear that there. Pretty cool. He's got his little pouch on the side. Let's see, can we get an actual close-up of that? Kind of hard to see. Does that say 77? Yeah, 1977, Hong Kong. So pretty cool. There's a little bit of wear on some of his belts, but for the most part, the paint's there, the application's still there, so it's really, really great. He's got the paint on his eyes and on his teeth. He's in really great shape. Then we have Han Solo, which he has a blaster, and this is not it. He has a different blaster. It's really cool. He's much more slender compared to Chewy, which is how they are in the movie. And you got a beast versus a human. So pretty cool. I mean, the neck is still pretty tight. A little bit of paint wear. A little chipping. Really nice figure. Really nice figure. Doesn't even look like the pegs in the bottom were really used too much. There's not much wear showing there, and the paint application is generally just great on these figures. So it's really just a really great example of some vintage toys that were really kept in great shape. We got the Princess Leia with she has a vinyl robe, or vinyl robe or cape, and a little bit of dust on there, so please excuse that. Just used a little bit of warm water in the past to get them clean. No cleaning chemicals or anything. Early on in my channel, I did a video cleaning some old Masters of the Universe figures, and man, oh man, did I get some heat for that. The old toy polloi himself came in and said, whoever's watching this video, don't do this. And yeah, I get it now. I totally get it. So from his advice, I don't wash the toys anymore. It's just that one group that I did, and I did it because I was like, hey, that's how we did it back in the day. What could possibly go wrong? These are just plastic, right? And collectors and things do not like to see that. So I learned, and I appreciate, and I like watching his videos quite a bit. He's incredible, very knowledgeable, extremely handy. So anyway, so we got Princess Leia. She has good paint. The robe's still, it's not torn. It's not really yellowing too much. It's a really good example, I think, of a vintage action figure that was kept in immaculate condition, like rarely played with. And to be honest with you, I identify with that kind of play when dealing with toys, because I kept most of my toys in really great shape. I didn't slam them too much. I didn't even really fight with them too much or play a bunch with, use them to attack other friends' collections and stuff. I just like to pose them and have them and look at them and look at the detail. That's how I like to experience toys. And, if they're Transformers, I would transform them. I would mimic some of the sound bites from the movies. So now we're back to the Rebel Soldier. And it says Hoth Battle Gear. So that's really cool. He seems to be in a little bit more worn condition. You can see on his boot there. So whoever had this one might have been a little more rambunctious while still not being that abrasive with him. So it's really cool. You can see the bottom, there's just some paint loss. Still a really great action figure. Really nice. Oh man, I don't think I've been showing the top of the heads of the other guys. Anyway. All right. So there's another one. Then we have Darth frickin' Vader. Couldn't believe it when I saw this one. I mean, you can see right off the bat, his vinyl cape is torn, which is unfortunate, and I'm sure that happens. And he has that telescoping lightsaber with the two levels. I guess this is usually broken off, and it's all pretty, fairly tight joints and everything still. It's really great. Sorry, Darth, you're gonna have to get fresh there for a second. Beautiful, beautiful action figure. Never had one of these, and it's cool to just hold it in your hand after learning how important these toys are to so many different people. And I honestly, I feel like I'm doing these a little bit of a disservice, because they're in a bin, in a Tupperware bin, in plastic bags, so that they're not exposed to the elements. They're kept in my closet. They're climate controlled. And even the paint application on his panel on his chest it's still there, so that's really great. Beautiful, beautiful action figure. And then moving right along, we have the Death Squad Commander, or Star Destroyer Commander. I'm surrounded by just think of Lord Helmet and Spaceballs. Is it true that Spaceballs gave up, in order for them to have the right from George Lucas, to make the parody Spaceballs, that they gave up the right to make toys? That's what I heard. I can't remember where I heard it, and I don't know if that's 100% true. Because that would be awesome to have Spaceballs the flamethrower. Excuse me. That was a weird laugh hiccup combination. So he's in pretty good condition. Seems like he does have a little bit of wear. Nothing too intense. Doesn't even seem like normal wear. It seems like very light. So that's really nice. Then we have Sand People. Tusken Raider. And this is his little staff weapon that he has, that you can see how his hands are molded, and his vinyl cape is in great shape too. You can see how his hands are molded, so that sucker just sits right in there. Very cool. Not too bad. He's in good shape. Vinyl cape is really nice, except for that. Which, don't know what that is. Haven't tried to clean it off. Not going to try to clean it off because I don't know the right materials and things to use, and I don't want to scratch on it. It seems like plastic, so, or a crayon or something, and who knows how long it's been there, and it even goes on his foot. So, not much paint loss on the rest of the figure otherwise, maybe around his eyes or his goggles just a little bit. And then on these things, I think these are supposed to be maybe totally silver, not 100% sure. And then on the ones on the top of his head too. So nice Sand People, very cool. Just take that back from you. Put him down. And then we have the little tiny Jawa. Ah, this is the Jawa blaster. Okay, that's what it is. Cool. Take his little... So I guess the rare one of these is the vinyl cape one, because this is like the cloth cape. And if you've seen the Toys That Made Us, which if you're watching this, of course you've seen the Toys That Made Us. But if you haven't, I highly recommend doing that. I guess the idea for having the cloth cape was from... I can't remember his name. I apologize. One of the people that designed and worked and sold the toys, they needed a cape and they didn't make one, and so he took his sock and he just cut the tip off of it, and they, formed it onto the Jawa, and for I guess the pitch part of the process. So anyway, and then they made a vinyl version, and I don't know all the details. So if you guys do know, please leave it in the comments what the details are. But there's a vinyl version. I think that's the really rare one. So I got his little blaster. So cool. So that's it. I just wanted to make a video showcasing the really spectacular vintage original Star Wars action figures and vehicles that my buddy Justin passed on to me. I'm grateful for them, and this video will serve as a record, forever honoring, that friendship and this generous gift. So thank you for watching the video. This is a really cool collection of vintage Star Wars figures and vehicles. Thank you again, Justin, for allowing me to cherish these action figures for this stage in their life, and I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to much more in the future. And thank you guys for watching. If you have any more information about the little details, about variations that you saw, or just more information about these action figures and vehicles, I would appreciate it. I'm learning, and it's really great, and I'm honored to be able to have these and cherish these. And yeah, So that's it. Thank you for watching. Looking forward to the next one.